Ukraine and the game between Turkey and Argentina. So we are one game into this tournament in this group, and we have watched Australia already get a win in Group B. They beat a very good, very determined Nigeria team, 86-68, pulling away late. Perhaps the score not indicative of how tough that game was for Australia. Now it's about Turkey and Argentina. I'm Jeff Taylor, joined by Shona Thorburn. And as we look at these two teams warming up, Shona, and we look at the group as it is, you see Australia already 1-0, Nigeria 0-1. We can already tell Argentina and Turkey that they're going to have two tough games coming up because those are two battling teams. And remember, only 3 teams will advance. The winner of the group advances to the quarterfinals. The teams that finish second and third have to go into the qualifications for the quarterfinals.
Yeah, I mean, after watching the Nigeria-Australia game, this is a tough pool. I don't know if I could predict it. Whoever that fourth-place team is, they're going to put up a fight and going to feel like, you know, they deserve to maybe move on. Turkey's going through a transition right now. I think, you know, it's first time in a while that they still have very experienced players, but they're missing key pieces who have been there for a very long time in the last few years, who have retired for them. So it'll be interesting to see how they come out. As far as Argentina goes, I think Argentina's been a little bit more on the rise. I mean, you know, they barely lost America last year to Canada, 2-point loss. You've kind of seen Melissa Gretter, their little feisty point guard, come into her own. I mean, she's really becoming a bona fide star, and she's starting to lead this Argentinian team. So it's interesting. You know, I think maybe on paper and just with all the history that Turkey has at higher levels, the 2014 run, you know, I know they lost big in that bronze medal game, but for them to even get to a medal round game, it was a big thing for them. And I want to know how they're going to come out, because I think on paper they have the bigger names, the bigger stars who play pro over in Europe compared to this Argentinian team.
I'm really interested to see Argentina, and I'm just curious where they got it right last year to make it to the final and push Canada so closely, because, you know, at the 2016 FIBA Women's Olympic Qualifying Tournament, Argentina were not good.
Yeah.
I mean, they
weren't even competing, right?
Uncomfortably bad,
yeah.
in all honesty.
Yeah.
They may have just had a bad couple of games, but maybe
keep
under
in mind,
Coach Kristen Santander, they've improved.
Yeah. I definitely think they have improved, but keep in mind that tournament was in Argentina. That final had, you know, I heard over 10,000 people. You couldn't even hear yourself think. So talk about an atmosphere and talk about, you know, home court advantage. And that's why you host these big events, to give yourself an advantage. So, you know, Argentina has moved up. Then again, you know, if you kind of go check out the website, the FIBA website, and you read about this team, they've been around. They've been to many World Cups before. They haven't had a lot of experience, but I mean, you know, since the 1950s, they have made appearances here and there.
Well, Turkey have a lot of players that have Olympic experience, big game experience. We'll see how good these two teams are. We're going to have a pause on the commentary for the playing of the national anthems. Well, the moment of truth has arrived for Turkey and Argentina at this FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. This is their first game, and didn't really see any jitters, first game jitters in the first game between Nigeria and Australia. They got after it. Both of them came out, hit their first shots, or scored early on. And I wonder if it'll be the same in this one. And we're going to look at the referees for today's game. Omar Bermudez from Mexico, Maj Forsberg from Denmark, and Arnaud Comgilo from Cameroon. And also we are going to get a look at the rosters.
And, you know, speaking about the referees, it's an enormous honor for them to be here and be doing these games. They get invited also.
Who stands out for you in this Christian Santander?
You know, no hesitation. It has to be Melissa Gretter. If they want to get a win and if they want to advance, it's actually going to depend on her. I know that's a ton of pressure for, you know, what, a 25, 26-year-old. There she is right there. I mean, she's, you know, last year, look at that. That's just a solid stat line. And like I said, you know, I've seen her for many years now, and wow, has she continued to improve. You know, she plays overseas in Europe, and just over the last, I would say about 3-4 years, she's just elevated her game. And that's what Argentina needs. She's going to have to have an A++ game to give them a chance to go far in this tournament.
And, you know, in contrast, number 10, Ushul Albin, the
this might be
point guard.
Exactly. This might be a point guard matchup. I know you're talking about Ishel Album. For those who follows women's basketball.
And what about Juanitra Hollingsworth? Of course, she played in the Olympics back in 2012.
She did. She missed out in 2016. They went with Latoya Sanders during that tournament. You know, you're only allowed one naturalized player, which a lot of teams have now. So, you know, Hollingsworth has had her number called for this tournament. And we saw her, we covered them last summer. And she, you know, I think if Turkey had had a higher place finish in Eurobasket, she would have been an all-star because she averaged 17 points a game in that tournament.
Well, now you played against Gretter, I take it, right?
Yeah, a couple times. This might be a battle of the point guards tonight. You know, we're talking about Hollingsworth and, you know, 17 points a game. But, I mean, Ishel Albin, she's a star in Turkey. You know, anyone who pays attention to women's basketball knows who she is. Great, great floor general. I mean, she has the capability of scoring, but I would say she's kind of maybe more that traditional point guard where she runs the team. She gets them into offense. She's incredibly good at penetrating and finding the open person. And as far as, you know, point guards go, I'm an enormous fan of hers.
So you see Ekrem Memnum. We just saw Christian Santander, the coach of Argentina. So this is Memnum. And remember watching Memnum at the Eurobasket Women 2015 for the first time. And, well, look who's here. McBecker has come out. She's...
looks like her parents might have been visiting, supporting their 19-year-old.
They had to be happy with what they saw. Boy, she's on the way up.
She really is.
No doubt about it. You
know, people paying attention to her name because it's going to be around for a long time. I think she's going to be one of those Australian stars who, you know, I don't want to put any pressure on her, but, you know, remember that person named Jackson Taylor?
Oh, you think she's going to be elite?
I don't know. I mean,
opal.
She's 19 years old, 8 points today. She didn't look out of place. Let's put it that way today.
We're talking about, you know, these two countries as well have a lot of great players to look up to, although I suppose when you talk about the Opals, that's a different level because they've won the world title back in 2006. Well, good afternoon from the Canary Islands in Tenerife, Spain. This is the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup. And it's Turkey in white winning the opening tip against Argentina in Group B. And Bahar Shalar is going to score immediately. Shalar, one of these players that has been around a long time. She's got Olympic experience, World Cup experience. And Gonzalez called for a double dribble. So inauspicious start here. Now here's Shalar. Look at her back up.
Great little lefty. You know, I've followed her a lot. Obviously, had the opportunity to play against her, and she's just playing a little bit more and a little bit more. Doesn't play a ton of minutes in the Turkish league with the teams that she has been on the last few years, but she is kind of a staple for this Turkish national team.
And here's Hollingsworth, and another early foul. Not a good start at all for Argentina on Marchesati.
You definitely see a height advantage for this Turkish team over the Argentinian team.
Ushul Albin, one of the fan favorites, and the ball goes to Hollingsworth, and she misses the layup. So Santana hands it off to Gonzalez. Now Greder, and her pass, a misread, and then Shalar, she just let it go. It would have been Turkey ball. So a break for Argentina.
Absolutely. I actually think Greder kind of passed up that three there from Gonzalez's little penetration. No, or maybe she thought it was a little bit too early in the shot clock.
Yeah, she was a little bit hesitant a couple of years ago at the Olympic qualifying tournament, but there's Llorente, so that'll be good for her to make her first shot. Now that she's got European experience, having played in Spain. Jor gets it over to Ushul Albin. Back to Hollingsworth and runs into traffic. And Sanyurek misses from deep.
I mean, she kind of had to put that up because the shot clock was winding down there.
How about Gonzalez? And the emotion from Argentina evident as they go in front 5-2. Shalar turns, and I'm pretty sure that Ekram Memnum right now is a little bit frustrated with the start of Hollingsworth. Could have had a couple of baskets already. Jorda from the line. I say Jorda. You can see she's been with the team. She's been up and down with Turkey the last couple of Eurobaskets, but now in the starting lineup. So much is expected of her. Santana, Marchesati. Here she is again, Shalar. Well, that's just like almost Cambridge automatic. I mean, if she's going to get it there, she's going to score.
And, you know, maybe Argentina hasn't seen a lot of scout on Turkey, but she's a lefty, right? So she's probably going to go right shoulder in the post, and she's done that twice now. So defensively, you kind of have to know, okay, let's take away her right turn on, you know, in the post, because we know it's the easier shot for her to get into.
So that was a good play by Jorda to knock that ball away, the steal, and now they answer with they add on the shot from Ushul Albin. So costly turnover.
And what I absolutely love about her game is that she can score. I'm talking about, Ushul Albin. She can score, but she doesn't force anything. Right there, the defense went under the screen or kind of got hung up, wide open, but kind of hesitates, waits to see if her post is going to open up because she is a pass-first point guard. She says, all right, well, you know, I can score too, so why not?
Well, right now it's 6 unanswered points for Turkey. And Sanyurek is going to inbound it. This is a big test for Greder going up against Ushul Albin. There's no doubt about it.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think it's a good test. She's only 25. She's really improved these last 4 years, I want to say.
Oh, now to Hollingsworth. And once again, Hollingsworth getting the ball in good positions. So Hollingsworth is at the free throw line. What do you think of that release on her free throw? Kind of interesting, isn't it?
Yeah.
29 years of age.
She's so young.
I know. Watch her release. She kind of has a hitch.
She has a hit. Yeah, I saw that. I think she kind of got some people on the free throw line, too. They thought she was going to go straight up into her shot, and she didn't. She sort of hesitates a little bit. But, you know, she's a big. She spends most of her time scoring inside the paint, to be honest.
Llorente, good pass to Gretter in the corner. Gretter to Santana. Santana with the left hand. Hollingsworth collects another rebound. And now Llorente pushing Shalar out. Well, Shalar says, I'll just take the jumper. And she does. Well, she started like a house on fire tonight, or this afternoon. Deborah Gonzalez. Argentina on the wrong end of a run right now. Turkey have gone on a 10-0 run, and that interrupts it. The second three-pointer for Gonzalez. Big game, Gonzalez.
You know, we didn't see great three-point shooting in our last game with Australia and Nigeria, but...
And boy, that is a problem
That's a tough
for
matchup.
Argentina. Hollingsworth, once again, catches it down low and scores.
And that's her third foul. I mean... Yeah, she has to come out. Her third foul in 5 minutes. It's kind of, what do you do, right? You want a big body to go up against Hollingsworth, but then you don't really want to get her into foul trouble either. I really think Hollingsworth is going to be the person who's going to give them the most amount of trouble tonight. This afternoon.
Well, she has. Although Shalar has 6 quick points. And Hollingsworth, if she makes this, it would be her third free throw, and she'll have 5 points. So Boquette has come into the game, number 8. Brings a little bit of size and versatility. Buran as well. And Santana misses from the corner. Ushul Albin now. And again, Sanyarek. Oh, that's going to trigger a break for Gonzalez in Argentina. Borani and missing that one on the break. Remember, this Argentina team made it to the final of the AmeriCup. Now an offensive foul called on Hollingsworth. I think an elbow called Borani. And watch this. Well, no, it wasn't an elbow. She was just establishing position. That seems a bit harsh on Hollingsworth.
Hey, you know, we're also taught to exaggerate a little. And, you know, I know what it's like to play against Argentina, and you know, as a player, you get a little frustrated by them. They're a little feisty, you know, kind of little cheap shots when the refs don't really see. It's honestly, it's their identity. It's their go-to. It's what they do. But they're very frustrating to play against, and you know, that might have been one of those good little Argentinian tricks, let's say.
Well, points in the paint, Turkey 3 of 5, Argentina only 1 of 1.
I mean, no surprise. Turkey is a lot taller than Argentina, and we've already seen Argentina has more three-point attempts than they do two-point attempts, and kind of when you're a smaller run-and-gun type team that Argentina is, you take more shots from the outside.
This is Baha Shalar. She has been a problem. And that is a problem again. She's got the size, the touch, and she's got a lot of experience.
Yeah, she really does. You know, she's been with this national team for quite some time now. I mentioned she doesn't play enormous minutes for her club team in Turkey, which actually a lot of these players, other than probably Ishel Album, aren't enormous minute people, but they do play in Turkey, and Turkey is probably one of the best leagues in Europe. So they are at least competing day in and day out at practice against some of the best.
Well, that was Greder missing from the line, so she's yet to get going. And Shalar with the shot clock winding down makes the pass. Good defense that time. Not giving up anything. Gonzalez whips it over to Boquete. And to, oh, nice swat. Was it Ojai Shakur? Sanyurek backs up Barani and then missed the shot. She was in perfect position to score. Argentina riding their luck a little bit right now. And now off the hands of Barani and out of bounds.
And, you know, that was kind of an unforced turnover that as this game goes on, Argentina can't have unforced turnovers. It's a big thing that a lot of coaches talk about. You know, turnovers are going to happen. It's basketball. But you don't want unforced turnovers, and that's what that was right there.
Well, Shalar says, I'm just going to put it on the deck, and this time she missed. Sanyurek gets it back, and she misses. And you understand why Ekrem Memnum has some gray hairs, because he's watching his team miss some layups. Greder gets inside and misses another one. They need to get her on track. Gonzalez has been the source of 6 of their 8 points today. Ojai Shakur, Turgood hits the 3. Or was that a 2? That was a 2. Foot was on the line. Gonzalez. 3-point attempt. And that falls. So that from Andrea Boquete. And that was an offensive rebound that you cannot give away if you're Turkey.
Absolutely not. You know, Argentina got stuck behind, and if that's the case, you got to push the offensive person underneath the basket. You can't just let them have position like that. It was an easy 2 for them.
Well, Barani takes the 3 and misses. 8 points, the difference.
And, you know, we see some subs coming in for Turkey here soon, but...
Well, I mean, Ojai Shakur Turga just turns it over, and now it's a 2-on-1 break. Gonzalez drives in, can't get it to go. Both teams getting very close to the basket here and not coming away with points. Well, 3-pointer off the back of the rim. Barani goes up and comes down. She'll be helped up by Shalar. Don't think we saw too many people helping each other up in that last game.
Wait, Liz Cambage didn't help anyone up?
Certainly not in the green jersey. Hollingsworth back, and Jansu Koksel comes into the game. And I believe also Janitez. Yes, Kokshi Janitez into the game. Number 12. Final minute of the opening quarter. Fiorotto. Dioso also in the game, number 5 for Argentina. Oh, and Hollingsworth said, no, don't even think about bringing that in here.
She just has such an advantage over them. She really does. You kind of look at her out there, and she's a few inches taller than the tallest Argentinian.
Oh, Rosette, I think, got away with a push, and then the ball went off of her and out of bounds.
And, you know, if you're Argentina right now, 43 seconds left, you need to get a stop. You would really like to get a stop and then a score before the end of this first quarter.
Janitez. And Hollingsworth corrals another rebound. Shot clock winding down. Ojai Shakur. Turga drives in. Nobody picks her up. She misses once again, but an offensive foul on Hollingsworth for boxing out. And that's a problem.
Yeah, you know, I think it was right before the box out. Let's see. Right here, she kind of tries to open the lane.
Seals.
And, you know, I think the ref kind of was in the perfect position to kind of see her seal with her arms, which is not allowed.
Call?
I don't mind it, to be honest.
I thought it was a good call.
You want your post player to do that offensively also. You know, there she just used her arms a little bit much. I think if she had used her legs and kept her arms up,
she might have got away with it.
Still, yes.
Versailles drives in, misses. Or Diouf, excuse me. Now Ushul Albin puts up a prayer. So, Turkey, 19-11 on top of Argentina here at the end of the first quarter. Well, the early numbers for Turkey probably should be even better. 8 of 16 inside the arc. They've left some shots out there. And Argentina, and I'm not surprised, have struggled. Just 1 of 9 from the floor. I think it's whenever I get to cover their games, they really seem to struggle offensively. I don't know what it is.
We said on paper going into this game, I think Turkey is the stronger team. A little bit more experience at the higher level. You know, they had that run to the podium, didn't quite get on it in 2014 when they hosted. They have Olympic experience, where these Argentinians, they're missing that. And I really, right now, you know, if I'm Turkey, I want to put the ball, I want to get scores inside the paint, because you have such an advantage almost at every position over Argentina. If you're Argentina, you're kind of looking at the stats, and I'm saying, okay, you know, I just talked about how for Argentina to do well and come out with a win, I need to see Melissa Greder go off. And I haven't seen, you know, I thought she was a little tentative. I thought she gave up a 3 off of penetration in that first quarter. And I know she's only 0 for 2, but she's their leader. She's their leading scorer the last AmeriCup. She needs to do a little bit more for this team if they want to try and pull this off.
Asena Yalcin has come into the game. Number 0 for Turkey. Rosé steps in, and Borani gets the rebound. Fiorotto, and Argentina just not buying a basket right now.
No, they're not. I think those are 2 good looks, 2 open looks for them, and you know, you need to knock those down.
Janitez on the left. Yalcin. Shot clock winding down. Ojai Shakur misses, so she hasn't gotten it going yet. I think Argentina fortunate in that Turkey have also had some struggles offensively here and had some misses. Now the bounce pass to Borani goes out of bounds. Gorani goes out. So getting our first look at Argentina's number 17, Mayra Leverou. And Argentina having to get back on defense. You would think at some point some of those shots would start to fall.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a shooter, your mentality is, I mean, have you ever watched Steph Curry?
Yeah. Oh, beautiful drive and finish from Ojai Shakir Turgut. Rosette goes in, back out to D'Urso. Now D'Urso in the lane, still can't get it to go. But those are shots you have to think they simply must make. And that three-pointer no good from Yaltsin. D'Urso for three. Front and back of the rim, stays out. So still searching for their first points, Argentina, here in this second quarter. Turkey only have two.
Yeah, you know, that's, if your shots aren't falling, what does coach say? Well, you have to play defense. And for the most part, they've done that. But can't win a game if you don't score either.
Well, here's Greta. I mean, they simply must get her on track.
Absolutely.
Ah. Ushul Albin after the slip by Argentina. Janitez earns a trip to the line. So yeah, it's a 10-point game for Turkey, and just wondering what else Argentina can do.
I mean, they need to knock down shots, plain and simple. They're 4 of 21 right now, 19%, 3 for 8 from three. You have to make baskets. You know, it's not acceptable at this level to not score consecutive possessions down the court.
Well, you're certainly not going to win if that keeps up. Good hustle from Argentina. Leyva, but into the hands of Turkey. Reset the shot clock on that. Yaltsin. Jansu Kokshul. She's a good shooter. They have to keep an eye on her, as is Janitez. Good! Three-pointer. And this is starting to look pretty bleak for Argentina unless they can get something going and quickly. Gonzalez is going to come back in. She's hit a couple of three-pointers. But that's been the bulk of their offense. Leyva passes up the three. Santana off the back of the iron. And Llorente keeps it alive for Argentina.
You know, I think coach had to go with Gonzalez and put her back in because she is the only one of two people who have hit some outside shots, and does have 6 points for them, their leading scorer. But you need more than her.
Rosette bounce pass, and the foul was called. That was almost unfortunate because they actually had a layup coming.
How many times does that happen? Sometimes you really want them to call the foul and they don't, but then when they do call the foul and you don't want it to happen.
That's right. Rosé finally stops the rot for Argentina.
But look at this.
Jansu Kokshul. Well, again,
I mean, that was
for
off
Argentina.
of a made basket, and Turkey almost had a fast break opportunity. I mean, they almost scored within 10 seconds.
Now up ahead to Gonzalez, another chance for Argentina. Oh, and she still doesn't make it. Well, that basket has a lid on it. Gretter for 3. So it ends up being even better. And just like that, Argentina trailing by 7.
I mean, we kind of thought Turkey was pulling away and putting the game in the bag.
Sanyurek answers for Turkey.
You saw you saw Argentina go back after the make into a zone defense there, and I think that's because they don't really have a lot of bigs, but I mean, typically you play a zone because you don't want them to score inside.
Gonzalez,
Turkey had an easy 2 points.
That's right. Gonzalez misses. Now Yalcin goes in, gets blocked. Good hustle from Llorente. Now the game opening up a little bit for Argentina, and this will help them, I think. And they're so desperate to get some easy baskets that they're even taking some bad shots, but she draws the foul.
She did. I think she might have got a little lucky. Here we see the nice block by Argentina. Maybe got away a little bit of a hit. Here, right there, you saw the easy basket by Turkey. And, you know, I was just saying, Argentina, after that 3-point made by Gretter, went back into a 2-3 zone because they don't have any post players who can really slow them down. So that's what's happening right now. And, you know, Jeff, you and I were talking about this earlier today on the bus ride over. We said, you know, maybe 10, 15, 20 years ago when you watched a basketball game, when it was a blowout, the game was kind of over. If you had a 15, 20-point lead, it was kind of over. You don't see that anymore in today's game. I think because three-point shooting has become a lot better over the years, so you can make up points in a fast amount of time. And really, when a team starts to pull away, game isn't over.
Well, it was looking very bleak for Argentina. At least a little run here has gotten them back into it. And how are Turkey going to respond?
You know, not a bad idea to pick up in a full court zone there as Argentina, just to take some time off the clock. They weren't going for a steal, but they just wanted to, you know, and now you kind of...
They find Hollingsworth down low.
Then you have that happen. But I like the idea of them picking up full court because just to slow it down, they're not going for steals, but they want to try and take time off the clock and have Turkey sort of rush into a shot. But when you got Hollingsworth under the basket, it's a little difficult.
Barani from the top of the key misses. Gretter with the rebound. Gonzalez bounce pass to Barani. She doesn't catch it. And
so it's kind of that fast break foul we were talking about a little bit, no?
Hollingsworth on that.
That's called a seal.
Yep. Three and a half minutes to go in the first half. Aisha Jorda inside. Gunnar, who's checked in, misses with her first attempt. Gunnar just 18 years of age, the youngest person in this game. Now off of Barani, she's able to get it back. 4-3, Gonzalez goes baseline, puts it up, rattles out. Ushalalban up to Shalar, turns and gets it to go.
Kind of had the friendly roll there on the shot.
Llorente. There's a flat shot.
Very flat.
Lead back to 11. Gunnar hands it off to Jorda. Foul called on Santana. Or Boquete, excuse me. Well, that was Baja Shalar's last basket. She's got 8 points today. Leading all scorers. Ushul Albin, and a three-point attempt off target. Now here comes Greder. No time like the present for some of these Argentina players to start hitting some shots.
Absolutely.
They are desperate for some offense. Greder. And got a lot of rim there, but no love from the rim gods. So push called on Argentina. So Marchesati has 3 fouls for Argentina, 2 fouls for Llorente. Turkey not really in any foul trouble right now. Ushul Albin for 3. Clangs that one off the backboard and rim. Here again. Now what is this?
I think the ref's gonna, no, it's a double foul.
All right, okay.
So I mean, it shows you how hard they're battling down there, right?
Yeah. It's Barani's first foul. Well, Turkey right now, comfortable. If Argentina start making some shots, things can change quickly, but.
Yeah, you know, I mean, Argentina's 3 for 20.
I think we can see where both of these teams are going to struggle in this tournament. It's on the offensive end, on this evidence.
But Argentina are getting looks. It's not as though they're turning the ball over incredibly. You know, it's not that kind of a game, but.
You can see that, I mean, 5 fast break points for Argentina. They want to try to get something in transition whenever possible. Turkey are very deliberate. They're happy to take as much time off the clock as possible. So yeah,
points
so
from
the last
turnover, you know, you saw 5 for Turkey.
So that last foul, the foul was the double foul was on Elida Gunnar, the 18-year-old for Turkey, and Agostina Barani for Argentina.
And I mean, they're just battling. That's what you're supposed to do. You're 18 years old. You're playing in your first World Cup. Coach puts you in. You're going to do what is asked of you, and it's basically probably give Hollingsworth a little bit of a breather and get your guards open and fight, and that's what we've seen her do.
Shalar right at the free throw line. Now Greder, open floor to Perez. Perez picked up the dribble. Gets it back to Fiorotto. Greder pulls up, misses the short jumper. Final seconds ticking off the clock here in the first half. Ushul Albin Shot clock winding down. Gunnar with the pass to Shalar. Goodness me, that was execution to perfection.
It really was.
And that's how the first half finishes.
And they scored right at the end of the shot clock. Didn't leave a lot of time left on the game clock.
Look at this again. Look at the pass from the 18-year-old.
Good job by Shalar to cut at the right moment as well. You know, she wasn't hanging around. She crashed the boards.
33-20, Turkey on top of Argentina at halftime.
And, you know, I think the biggest thing right there is 14% shooting compared to 50% for Turkey. Argentina just needs to make baskets. You know, they're not putting the ball in the hoop, and it's going to be a long night if they're going to continue to struggle like that. You know, they only have 19 points at the half. I think they've done a relatively good job on defense, to tell you the truth. Turkey is talented. Hollingsworth is talented. Salar is talented, but you can't win if you can't score. You know, coaches always say defense wins championships, but you got to get to that championship game as well, right? So.
Yeah, you know what? Some of these teams will be looking to have some improvement over the course of this tournament, clearly. When you have youngsters out there like Turkey have, they'll be looking for those youngsters to get better. And for Argentina, you know, they just have to, you know, they need their emotion to work. And if they're not hitting their shots,
yeah,
they can't get fired up.
Yeah. I mean, you know, we saw Gonzalez with those 2 nice threes early. I think they got to maybe look to run her off a couple more screens, some more staggers, get her going. You know, she's been around a while for Argentina. You know, I remember playing against her back in my days, and she is a leader for this team. You know, I talked about Greta earlier, but Greta's still only 25. She's, you know, I mean, 25, you're established at that point, but as far as leadership goes, I think that kind of falls on the shoulders of Gonzalez, and maybe you need to get her, you know, some more easy looks, easy buckets, and try and get some easy baskets.
Yeah, I think with Greta, she's in some ways passive or reluctant to assert herself offensively.
Yeah, keep in mind, I mean, Turkey have scouted her. They know that she is their best player. They know that she, you know, led the team in scoring last year at the AmeriCup, and that's who they're probably concentrating on. So that you have to expect, if you want to be great, people are going to concentrate on you. You still have to be able to score, being the focal point of your team's offense and probably the focal point of the opponent's defense.
Yeah. Meanwhile, we just got to look at Baha Shalar, and she's a steadying influence for this Turkish team. She's not outstanding, but steady. And, you know, she kind of kept the scoreboard ticking over for them early. And really, her ability to put the ball in the basket more than anything probably has helped them keep this lead. And also you have Ushul Alban, who just seems to continue to control tempo.
She really does. She controls the tempo. She, you know, knows when to penetrate. She always sees the open person, but she's also capable of scoring herself. We haven't seen her, you know, put the ball in the basket tonight, but she just brings a calm for this team. And keep in mind, she also plays the most minutes. You go back and you look at Eurobasket, she played over 31 minutes a game. You know, she already has 18 minutes clicked today. So she is the reason Turkey is at the level that they are at, in my opinion.
Okay, so we're at halftime. It's 33-20. Turkey on top of Argentina in Group B. We will be right back for the second half. Well, Turkey on top at halftime here at the FIBA Women's Basketball World Cup, 33-20 over Argentina. And Baha Shalar has been the woman on the spot, scoring a game-high 10 points. Here she is going to work on Llorente. And Argentina have, in my opinion, been fortunate to only be trailing by 13, although they could have been even less. They just have had an almighty struggle scoring themselves. They could do with a player like Shalar, because Shalar is reliable. You know you're going to get something from her game in and game out. And now that Turkey are kind of in a transition period with their national team, you know, she's even more important than ever. So Shona, for Argentina, you know, we talked about it. What can you do differently? If your shots aren't falling, you need to really pay attention on the defensive end and hopefully create some offense from your defense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, defensively, I don't think they have done a bad job. Turkey only has 33 points. Okay, this isn't the same Turkey team that we saw in 2014, that we saw in Rio in 2016. I get that, but they're still very talented. So to only, you know, be down 13, to only give up 33 points, I think is a great job by this Argentinian team. But maybe you need to do a little bit better job of, if you do get a stop, pushing the ball, try and get easy baskets, try and get fast break points. But what it comes down to is, you know, Greder needs to get more involved and Gonzalez needs to get more involved, because they're the ones who can score for this Argentinian team. And easy baskets, open baskets, you know, maybe if it's early in the shot clock, you still take it because you're open, because you don't know if you're going to get a better shot against maybe a better Turkish team than they are. So those are things I think Argentina needs to think about.
Well, Christian Santander trying to stay positive over on that sideline, keep his players in the game. Confidence is a very important thing, and you don't want to lose it in the very first game of a World Cup. And confidence is also very important for this Turkish team that has, you know, you've got some role players from years gone by that are now key players.
Yeah, like you mentioned, Shalar. I mean, you know, if you kind of Google her, check her out, good player. She's been around, but she hasn't played enormous minutes and been a high scorer for them. So I think you see a lot of role changing for this Turkish team with, you know, the retirement of some other players, and other players are just getting older. And now, hey, it's on you. It's your responsibility to be that scorer for us. And I think that's what we're seeing from this Turkish team.
Well, welcome back, folks. Second half underway, and Turkey go immediately to Hollingsworth down low, and Argentina somehow lived to tell the tale. It looked like she had another opportunity. Hollingsworth to score and came up with nothing. Now Santana hands it off to Greder, who is going to launch the three. She was open.
And, you know, I think she hesitated a little bit. She was open a little earlier. She noticed that Albon was a little off. But I think she should have just shot the ball with confidence right away.
Meanwhile, Shalar misses. So Brissett starts the second half, and Hollingsworth reaches in and commits foul number 3.
And that's an important stat to think about. You know, we're 45 seconds into the third quarter, and
she's coming out.
You know, she looked over to coach. She's kind of...
She knew immediately.
She is, and she's looking at him. You know, I saw her put up her hand like, no, wait, coach, I'm okay, my bad. And he, you know, he's looking at her going, I can't leave you in. You have 3 fouls, and we still have 19 minutes left to play.
Some of the Spanish fans coming out early, you can see. So Janitez comes into the game, and now a foul on Shalar. So that's 2 quick fouls on Turkey here in the first minute.
And, you know, another way to kind of find your shot, find your rhythm, is to go to the free throw line. And if Argentina can be a little bit more aggressive, get to the free throw line, work on their shots, get some scores with the shot clock
much better,
stopped.
much better. and just did not score. Marchesati. Now the turnover, Greder. Maybe Rosette can get something in transition. She has the three. Marchesati is able to collect the board. Is anybody going to score? Greder drives in. Tried to score with her left hand.
That was a tough shot.
Ayşe Jora. Sainure, good three-pointer. 16 points, the lead. I think that's the biggest of the game. The ball goes off of Rosette. Another turnover, another possession for Turkey. Jora, three! And boy, now Argentina have problems. 19 points. They can't put the ball in the basket.
And, you know, I mean, they just gave up 6 fast, easy buckets.
Rosette over to Greder. Another three.
She didn't even want to shoot that. Did you notice? She kind of looked at Albin and said, here, take the ball back. And Albin looked at her like, you're wide open. Okay, well, fine.
She's shown that she can hit them. She's hit a couple. And Turkey right now on cruise control, leading it 42-20.
And, you know, this is the moment. If you're Argentina, you need to dig down. You need to find that fight.
Yeah, 18%. I mean, 7 of 38, 18%. You're not going to win many games if you're shooting 28% or even 38%. So you need to get that percentage up and quickly. And they prefer to get something in transition, some easy buckets. But 3 3-pointers for Turkey here in the third quarter in the first 2 minutes and 41 seconds.
Yeah, that's tough. You're putting yourself, you know, you're digging a hole.
And yeah.
Sorry, I just noticed, those of you watching, you know, Greder does have tape on her shooting shoulder. So I'm wondering if that's why, you know, we have seen her kind of be a little hesitant to shoot. Maybe she is kind of battling an injury right now.
Llorente, good drive, but not a good finish. Sainure passes it out. Sainure again, 3! She is on fire. She's already hit 2. You got to get a hand in the face, and the lead is 45-20. Nightmare start here to the second half for Argentina.
And, you know, talking about this Turkish team.
Now Llorente, again, she misses the layup.
You know, I think Senurek is a perfect example of, she's been around for a few years at major competitions, hasn't played a whole lot. She only averaged about 3 points at Eurobasket last summer, a little bit more in the Eurobasket qualifiers that they have during the year. But it's kind of, you know, it's their time now. It's their time to fill the shoes of some of the people who did it in the past for them. Yilmaz, for example, at Senurek's position. And, you know, now it's her time to step up. And so far in the second half, I think she's realized what her responsibility is now.
Anytime you have a weapon like this, I mean, that's manna from heaven for a coach that can have a player come out and hit 3 3-pointers in the space of about 3.5 minutes.
Your post player.
Yeah.
Keep that in mind. We're not talking about a guard. We're not talking about, you know, a shooting guard who grew up coming off screens. She is their post. She, you know, she started with Hollingsworth at the 4. So.
Although, she's clearly a stretch 4. Here she is. I'm not even sure she's as good down low.
Well, I mean, she almost airballed her.
Yeah. So
her post move there. So maybe, you know, hanging around the 3-point line is her area.
Oh, beautiful pass that time, and the bump and the basket. So Santana takes the bump from Jansu Koksel and makes the shot.
I mean, really, other than Ishil Albin and Hollingsworth for this Turkish team, have never been anything other than role players. So it is honestly, this is their tournament. This is their opportunity to prove that they're more than just that, and they're getting the opportunity with more playing time, which I think is great. It's like transitioning of the guards, you know? The time has come for Turkish basketball, and now this is a new generation who are, you know, hopefully going to have a long run here in this tournament and make a name for themselves.
So Guner is going to come in for Sanyurek. Now Albin reaches in, gets the steal. And with 4.5 minutes to go in the third, it's a horror show for Argentina. Gonzalez is out there. Minor victory here for Argentina to get the foul called on Guner.
On the 18-year-old who was told, I'm supposed to swim move and post up aggressively. And, you know, I kind of, if I'm Argentina, you wonder, at what point do you say, I don't want to say you call it a defeat, because that's not what you do at this level, you know, you are always competing, you're always trying to win no matter what. But do you rest your players, sort of thinking to move on later? You know you have a game tomorrow, then you have a rest day, then you have your final pool play. You know you at least need to win one game to move out of pool play. What do you do as a coach? Like, when do you kind of say,
we're not going to do this, we're not going to win this today?
Yeah, I don't know.
And tomorrow, Argentina will face Australia, won't they?
It's
not getting any easier.
No, it's definitely not getting easier. You know, we mentioned earlier in the first game, the game against Nigeria, Argentina might be an enormous deciding factor. But you also have to keep in mind, like, points for and against count in this tournament. So if it is a tiebreaker for whatever reason, how many points you score or don't score are going to affect you. So if you're this Argentinian team and you're looking up and you're saying, I only have 22 points with 3 minutes left in the third quarter.
Well, they've got 2 points in this quarter. And we are 7 minutes and 4 seconds into the second half.
And the 2 points were a crazy kind of foul,
drive.
Hail Mary drive that somehow went in.
Shalar, the pass goes off the hands of Gunnar. I mean, it's when you look at the state, like, you know, the basketball in the Americas, and you've seen Canada has improved really for the last decade, but Brazil have dropped off. They're not even here. And you've got Argentina made it to the final. You got Puerto Rico here. You know, you wonder about the Americas. I mean, the USA, obviously the clear #1 in the world.
Who in the last few years have not competed in the America's Cup.
Yeah.
Because, you know, if you win the world, if you win the World Championship, the World Cup, you get an automatic to the Olympics. You win an Olympics, you get an automatic to the World Cup. So the U.S. Have not been participating. So really, the Americas, you know, it's been a competition of, traditionally, Brazil was always very, very strong. I mean, we were talking about that the other night, about how Brazil basketball was great in the past, and they've definitely hit a bump along the road, to say the least. Canada has emerged, like you said, and probably in around the last 8 years, I want to say. You know, it's tough because you could say the same for Afrobasket. Are they as competitive as the European teams?
Yeah.
I mean, it's hard. But then again, you know, this Argentinian team last year only lost by 2 to Canada. So
yeah.
You're kind of going, where are you guys right now?
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
that's what I'm wondering.
Was it you played that well last year, or? Because I don't think this is the best Turkish team that we have seen in the last, you know, 4 or 5 years.
No, definitely not. And you mentioned it. I mean, the fact they played at home, that had to help. There's Shalar. 51-22. The lead just keeps growing for Turkey. I mean, the passing, the ball movement, all that's great for Argentina. But at the end of the day, you have to be able to make that move and score. And those are shots taken right there that they're not even close.
They're air balls.
Yeah. And Shalar, meanwhile, comes down, misses a shot she should have had. And Orotopos, also in the game for Turkey. She's had a chance. Here we go.
And you know, if I'm Coach Memnon right now for Turkey, I'm kind of looking at this saying, you know what, maybe I can give my bench players some playing time and some experience also, because we do have a comfortable lead right now. And like I said, just like Argentina is going to have to think about, do you start to rest your players for the upcoming games? Turkey has to think about the same thing. And is that what we might be seeing here?
Well, that was good defense from Durso to force the turnover. Here's Gonzalez. Rosette again, and she thought Gonzalez was out there. And Rosette's looking tired. Final 14 seconds of the third quarter. Well, it's one thing that we admired about Nigeria. They fought to the very end. So here we go, the final few seconds. They've got a chance. Is she going to chase it? She does, and missed the shot. And that's pretty much symbolic of how it's gone.
Absolutely. It's how the ball has bounced for Argentina so far in this game. I mean, 51-24, end of the third quarter. Turkey looked like they're in a comfortable lead.
Well, Argentina have dropped to 13% from the floor inside the arc, 5 of 38. And Turkey right at 43%, 42%.
Argentina, they're not getting to the line. They're 2 for 3 from the line. Halftime, they were shooting 20%. They're down to 13% now. You can't expect to be even close in a game shooting 13%.
No.
And, you know, I thought they did a lot better job on defense in the first half. We saw the third quarter. I mean, Turkey just came out kind of guns firing, and Argentina didn't have an answer defensively or offensively.
Those Steinurek three-pointers just killed the game, really, didn't they?
I mean, it's tough when, you know, Turkey's 4-player goes 3 for 3 in the third quarter, in the first few minutes of the third quarter. Sorry, let's not forget that. I mean, it happened very fast, so.
Turkey, I mean, they won't be looking at it like this, but by getting this win, it's almost as if they are punching their ticket to the next round.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, I think what happens is, depending, I mean, maybe Nigeria beats Turkey. Let's just say hypothetically here. Nigeria beats Turkey, and then Argentina beats Nigeria. So it could come down to points. Like, we could see a tie in this group.
I'll say for the sake of argument, that can happen, but I'm not expecting that, just judging from how good Nigeria looked in their game against Australia.
Yeah, so you're saying right now that they are clearly, they clearly seem stronger than this Argentinian team.
Yeah, I do. I'm guessing you would agree.
Yeah,
But
I'm on an agreement with that.
Maybe Argentina have started slow and they're going to get it going here.
What do you think about Turkey and Nigeria? That's going to be an interesting game, right?
Yeah, and I think because Nigeria will be coming off the emotional low of losing, they will be a little bit, after a tough game, deflated. And Turkey, meanwhile, have been able to come out and win convincingly right now. So, and rest players, I think it's advantage Turkey, but I think the physicality and the defense of Nigeria, if they can play at the same level that they played today, you know, that could be their game.
And, you know, those who are just kind of tuning in and maybe just check the score, the score is not evident of how that Nigeria and Australia game went. I know they lost by 18 points, but it really didn't happen until around the 4 or 5 minute to go in the fourth quarter, right?
Yeah, and everybody I spoke to after was impressed by Nigeria. So look out for the team from Africa, the AfroBasket champions, women's AfroBasket champions from last year. Nigeria looked like they could make some noise here at the World Cup.
Maybe get their first win ever at a World Cup.
And not out of the realm of possibility for them to get to, you know, to aim for the quarterfinals and then see what happens after that.
Could you imagine being Nigeria, getting your first win, and then possibly finish second in your group?
Absolutely.
What an accomplishment.
That would be. And remember, their men's team has been really good. Leyva outside to Durso. Perez. Now it's an opportunity for a player like Perez to come out, or also Levaru, come out and show they deserve some minutes, you know. They have to look at this as an opportunity for them, for Argentina to come out. And you'd also have to say the same for Turkey. I mean, you know, you want to let Yeltsin right now, she could do herself a lot of favors by playing well.
Yeah, and that's, I don't want to say an advantage, but Coach Santander, you know, if a Perez plays well in this last quarter, he's going to be thinking about that tomorrow and as the tournament moves on. And same with Coach Memnon. You know, maybe Coxel goes off in this last few minutes, and that's something that, you know, coaches notice, coaches remember.
Well, there's a three-pointer
like you said.
Yeah, Asena Yeltsin. So she was stuck on her number, 0, and now she's got 3 points. And Leva gets rejected. Well, Urotopoulos, the center, is actually 27 years of age, and she's 1.98 meters in height. That's 6 feet 6 inches. So that's a big girl. Ushul Albin liking what she's seeing right now. Probably, you know, you'd have to say this is an advantage for Turkey to be able to play this game today. I'm sure Nigeria might have liked to have played Argentina today, although maybe Argentina really got up to play Australia because they knew that was going to be a big-time game, big-time opponent.
I mean, you know,
field goal percentage is a nightmare, as you can see, for Argentina, 16%.
I didn't imagine this from Argentina. I thought it would be a difficult go, but I really expected more from them.
Well, you've got to be able to make some layups if you have the layups, and they've even missed layups today. But, you know, the world stage, the women's team has struggled. And, you know, it was like that as well when they played at the Olympic qualifying tournament, as I mentioned to you, in Nantes. And this is almost a carbon copy of that performance.
Yeah.
Which, again, it really it makes you wonder how they put it all together to make it to the final last year and push Canada the way they did.
Yeah.
Well, Leva's having a hard time with her footing. She slipped in the first half, and now she's kind of seen her foot slip on the hardwood as again. I've always thought with Turkey, Cansu Koksal had a great shot. And for some reason, she's never really gotten that much playing time. She is 24, so time is on her side. Here she is putting up a three. And again, now in Urotopoulos, over to Shalar.
Oh.
And Urotopoulos fouled, so she will go to the line.
I mean, can we just talk about that beautiful pass from Shalar? Kind of looked like she was going to go to that little post move we saw her do in the first quarter, a few times. And saw her big cutting to the basket. Nice little bounce pass.
So Shalar comes out of the game, 12 points. Sanjurek has the 13 to lead them. And Shakir Turgut is back in the game, number 4. Hollingsworth just chilling out over there on the bench.
She picked up that third foul early in the third quarter, and we thought it would be kind of worrisome.
Yeah.
And Coach Memnon has not had to go back to her.
Torani gets a good rebound for Argentina. Now Rosé fouled while attempting the three-pointer. She'll take it. She'll go to the line. And Urotopoulos helps her up. Boy, Rosé looks exhausted at the free throw line right now. How do you, I know you've been on the receiving end early in your Canadian career, some tough losses, maybe not quite so bad as this?
I think, no, probably around this, yeah.
How does it affect you as a player, also in tournament play? How do you, what's the most important thing for Argentina after this game? Don't look at the game tape. Don't just rest and try to get the bad thoughts out of your mind.
There are some things I think they could have done differently, scouting-wise, offensively, but for the most part, I think it's just been hitting baskets. And there's not much you can do about that other than take your shoot-around time tomorrow, get your shots up, try and get rhythm, try and feel a little bit more comfortable, more confident. But, you know, for a tournament like this, you don't want to lose confidence, and this is a confidence blow.
And right now, do they need to play hard because they need to get a good feeling? There's Barani scoring. Rare basket. Gets it back to a 27-point deficit.
You know.
Or maybe it's, no, sorry, it's 57-28, so 29-point deficit. I thought that was their 29th and 30th points. Barani for three. Olcay Şakir Turgut over to Janitez. I mean, Janitez can knock in that three as well.
I just, you know, this Argentinian team that we're seeing, I don't think that is the Argentinian team. One that played last summer and only lost to Canada by 2 in that final game. That has, you know, in my opinion, I think they have made strides over the years since Coach Santander took over in 2013. You know, they have started to progress and got a little bit better year by year. But we're just, I mean, I don't believe, maybe they're not quite at World Cup, you know, podium level, but I think they're better than what they're showing today.
Yeah. Nice drive from Buchetti down the baseline. Now it's a 27-point deficit.
And keep in mind, they missed easy baskets. It wasn't, you know, they missed some contested stuff. Turkey did a good job, some defensive possessions, but not all of them. They just missed shots.
It's good foot there from Şakir Turgut. This is Buchetti with the little runner on the baseline. Yeah, I just think it's obviously crucial for these Argentinian players to see that ball going in the hoop. Almost had an alley-oop there, but she decided to bring it down. You would just think, as Marchesate misses that one, that just some of these shots might fall. It's incredible.
And they don't, like, they're good-looking shots. I mean, that's your post player shooting an elbow jumper. Nothing about the shot was awkward, uncomfortable looking. Had great form.
Well, Buchetti on the break. Made the right play. Just didn't finish, didn't make the shot. Now Janitez, 3-on-1 break, goes behind the back. Was that on purpose? Doesn't matter because Koksol.
From the smile on her face after, I do not think she meant to do that on purpose, but I hope she got an assist. Did she get an assist?
Chalk it up. Chalk up the assist. And Gretter kind of, that's all they need now. She kind of like slipped and fell awkwardly, came down awkwardly.
Like she jammed her, slipped and jammed her knee.
Hyperextended it possibly.
That is definitely not what they need.
Especially in a loss like this. I think if the coach saw it, he might take her out. Here she is. And gets it to Rasate. And good follow from Buchetti. Great hustle from Olcay Şakir Turgut. Interesting that Baha Shalar is going to come back in. Oh, elbow on Janitez. I don't think that was on purpose, but
watch this block.
I think Gretter's hurting a little bit, and that was good hustle from Buchetti. And because when she made that pass on the break, she kind of like favored her left leg. She's not coming out. I suppose she would tell the coach if she needed to come out.
Yeah, I think so, especially in a game like this. You know, I know she's only 25 and she wants to play, and she's upset with how she's played so far and how her team has played. I'm sure about that. But I think she also realizes we have 2 more games in this group phase. I can't risk anything at this point.
Call Bukete. So 2:37 remaining. Turkey on top, 59-32. And I believe France won their game. They were in the other gym over Korea. They won that one convincingly, 89-58. So the second games of the day haven't been quite as competitive as the first games. Here's Ekrememnum. Now, his team is cruising along, and yet he is taking them to task.
I mean, I don't know Turkish, but I can tell that he is pretty intense right now, and he is not happy with how those players have played so far.
He's pretty intense
You've
during
talked to
the
him.
game.
You've interviewed him as well,
Yeah.
right?
He's intense during games, and then after games, he's the nicest guy you'd ever want to meet.
Oh, really?
He has a game face. He's very
But, you know, it's
serious
like a lot of
about
athletes.
his job. Yeah.
I mean, Diana Taurasi talks a lot during a game, very competitive.
You don't want to be around her.
You do not want to be around her. You do not want to be matched up with her. You do not want to guard her because every shot she hits close to you, she's going to be like in your face.
Yeah.
But off the court, completely different person. I mean, it's really everyone except for your teammates is your enemy on the court, right? And you're going to war, and no one is your friend. Off the court, fine. But on the court, no.
Well, Bukete has at least brought some offense. Here in the fourth quarter, she, I think, is now the leading scorer. Well, both she and Rosea have 10 points. And having checked into the game was Merv Iden. That was her first shot.
You know, what I like about this Turkish team is out of the 12 players, 10 have scored. So, you know, I know hasn't been the biggest challenge, but it still shows something, you know. Coach Memnum has a bench that he can go to, that he's confident in, and they're also confident.
A little bit of ball handling here from Iden. And now, she made the move, just didn't finish. Gunnar follows it up and is blocked. Marchizate called for the foul.
And if Gunnar makes this basket, it'll be 11 people who have scored for Turkey. I mean, that's a great stat. If you're a coach and you're looking at the stat sheet after, you're going, okay, not a bad outing.
I think she might become the youngest player at this World Cup to score today at this point. Yeah. Although I have to check. I'll look later. No, she didn't score
anyway.
Yep. 18 years of age. Her best years are ahead of her. Although she got in crunch time, didn't she? She got in when it was still close.
She was in the first half.
Bukete slipping and sliding. Marchizate back to Bukete. Ashley Chora brings it up, and Greter tries to harass her. There's Gunnar. She's got the 2 points. The teenager. If you're good enough, you're old enough. How old were you when you made your senior team bow?
I think I was around 19 at a
Really?
Cup. Yeah.
Oh, a rising young star. Now Bukete.
That was when we lost by about 40 to Brazil, though.
And that was only about 5 years ago, right?
Yeah, thank you.
So Turkey here in the final 30 seconds of this opening day game against Argentina. And Gunnar is deciding, I'm not just going to score once, I'm going to score twice. Aydin has yet to score. That's the only player for Turkey.
We have seen her already put up 2 shots, though, in her.
Yeah, she's trying.
She is trying, so maybe they'll be able to get one last shot attempt, and it'll be for her.
Gunnar's hometown paper will be celebrating the fact that she's played. You can expect full coverage of that. Here's Greder. And it looks like they might take some time off the clock down to the very end. Oh, Rosette goes up and draws the foul with 6 seconds on the game clock. I guess, you know, if you're the leader, if you're the captain, if you're the experienced person on this Argentina team, it's your responsibility to go up to everybody and try to raise their spirits after this one.
Yeah.
And say, let's go look in the mirror and see what we're made of, girls. Come on.
No, really. I mean, I think it's really important how they react after this game, how they recover, and how they begin to prepare for tomorrow. Because, I mean, this is not the Argentinian team that I expected, that probably the fans expected, that they expected. I mean, you can see the disappointment on their face. You know, you saw Santander, Coach Santander of the Argentinian team during the game. I don't think he knew what was going on either.
63-37, Turkey win it convincingly over Argentina. So, Shona, really, it's a dream start for Turkey, not so much because they won the game. They won it convincingly. They've been able to get their players out, give them some rest. And now they're going to go back to the hotel. And knowing Ekrem Memnun, he'll make them sit down and watch film. No, not really. They'll have some lunch. They'll rest up for tomorrow. And should be, see Baha Shalar. Look at that youngster, happy to be here. And everybody wants to see Bahar now. The shooting numbers, well, let's focus on Turkey. 20 of 46 inside the arc, the 19 assists. Interestingly, Argentina had more steals, which kind of speaks to the fact, especially in that first half, that they were, you know, really trying to get after them.
Yeah.
But ultimately, if you can't score,
exactly,
it's just going to become futile.
I mean, it was just a very difficult day for Argentina.
I mean, the great memory that you're going to have from this game is Senjurek hitting those 3 3-pointers to kill the game. Yeah. For me, in the third quarter.
She is the one who kind of, you know, it was close at half, closer. You kind of thought Argentina, if they could come out well in the third quarter, put a little pressure, get some easy baskets, that maybe they could have pulled ahead, but then Senjurek goes 3 for 3 early. Here's one of them. Early. I mean, she wasn't even looking to shoot. Early in the third quarter, and that's it. There's her second one.
And that's a potentially big weapon for them moving down the stretch. If she can be relied upon to hit 3 3-pointers in a game, you know, that's priceless for this team.
It is, and
they
you
need
know,
somebody to hit that jump shot.
They do, and like I said, there's a lot of these Turkish players. They, you know them. They've been around, but they haven't been relied upon to really score. They've been role players up until now, and tonight we saw Senjurek. You know, obviously her role has changed, even just from last year. Eurobasket women. She's supposed to score. This is what they're supposed to do now, and I think Turkey did a good job. You know, I didn't know what to expect from Turkey. Let's put it that way before this tournament started. I thought they were a little unknown. They didn't have the greatest results in their warm-up games. They were very kind of up and down. They'd have a good win and then a bad win, and it was unusual.
I don't think you can get carried away with this one because of they've they've beaten an Argentina team probably that they needed to beat.
Yeah.
But it's the perfect opponent for them on opening day because they'll get some confidence, they'll grow in a little bit of self-belief, and they can pretty much now know that the likelihood is they're going to go ahead and advance.
Yeah, really, I think you need at least one win. They've got one win. They have a big win, too. So even if it is a tiebreaker, I mean, they put points on the board and they held Argentina to 37. So they're going to have good tie-breaking points as well. And if Argentina continues to play like this, we saw Australia and Nigeria play. It's going to be tough for Argentina to get a win. Just after seeing the kind of Nigerian team that is here competing. I mean, they competed with Australia for 34, 35 minutes today.
Well, these are the Group B standings, 1-0 for Turkey and Australia. In Group B, Nigeria and Argentina, 0-1. And tomorrow, I think Turkey and Nigeria, that is going to be one whale of a game. So thanks for watching, folks. More World Cup action coming your way from Tenerife.